And I'm especially giving thanks to the goddess of the moon goddess, Ishchel, and the god of the sun god, Kinish Ahau. I am here to do your work, and I thank you for your continued energetic blessings and support. Greetings, dear soul. I am Crispy. I am another you. You are another me. We are one Godsciousness. Today, I'm here to talk about the total eclipse of the heart, which happens on Monday, April 8th. Now, there's a lot of information out there, and I happen to think a lot of it is kind of not really true. Some people want you freaking out about how incredibly rare and special in 5,000 years and blah, blah, blah. Well, a full total eclipse happens about every 18 months on our planet, okay? It's always in a different region. So this one is kind of special. Sure, they all are. I can promise you one thing. April 8th, full eclipse has never happened before and will never happen again. So, plan accordingly. If you happen to live in one of the regions where you can see it, definitely by all means prepare and be there. And if you can, ride your bicycle. Why would you take a car and especially get stuck in traffic afterwards? If you're going to skip the day of work or whatever, just ride your bike. Or take public transit, whatever. Now, one of the things that I do not recommend you do is pray to CERN. Don't go giving your energy to the Hades collider. Don't even think about it. That's like it's Christmas Day and you're, instead of being thankful for Santa, you're praying to Satan. Okay, so just leave that alone. It is not for you. You are here to raise your vibrations. Yours, your vibrations. That is all. Nobody else's, and especially not a multi-trillion-dollar experiment of destroying nuclei. Okay? Leave that. What should you do? Well, a lot of people are gathering and they're going to have a party. It's going to be incredible, and I think you should too, if you can, especially if you can see it. And by the way, do not film it. There's going to be billions of videos about the whole thing. You can watch later if you really want. You can watch them now. You can watch them from 2017 when the same thing happened in America. So don't film it. Get the protective goggles and experience it, or watch it through some other means. Filming it with a camera directly onto a TV and watching it on TV. Wonderful idea. So, what I am here to tell you about is the Mayan calendar day on the 8th of April. That day is called Patient Reincarnation. And this glyph is often called simply death by many of the Mayan peoples. But the thing is, in their culture, there is no death. They all know that there's reincarnation, just like Yeshua knew that and taught that, and almost every indigenous culture, all of the Buddhists, every culture with their eyes open, especially their third eye, knows that your soul can never die. We've been sold a lie for thousands of years. Anyway, back to the Maya. And I need to point out one thing too. Over 1,000 years ago, the Maya were so incredibly, precisely accurate with all their astronomy including the calendar we're still following today, that they could predict full solar eclipses hundreds of years in advance. They knew our galaxy better than any other culture. Now, let's talk about Monday. Tone 9 is called patient, and it really brings in the sacred feminine power of gestation. And look at that, the moon is one of the key code words. Teamwork, intentions, doorway, mastery, and many other key codes in the form of words. Now, as I mentioned, the glyph for reincarnation is really associated with death and rebirth. So what should you do on Monday? You should pray for a divine feminine rebirth. Here's some key code words associated with Kimi. Death and rebirth, reincarnation, transformation, ancestors, the underworld, which is called Xibalba, forgiveness and karma, among other codes. So as you can see, there is some very powerful energy happening on Monday, the 8th of April, 2024, which is a completely made up and fabricated date. The Catholic Gregorian calendar skipped 10 years in the middle. They have no idea when year 0 actually was, because they don't know when they actually killed that guy. It's all just a jumble of lies. You should ignore it for the most part, except as a social gathering connection. And really, the Mayan calendar is the only spiritual calendar connected to your DNA and the Milky Way galaxy. So, a little bit more about Monday. We happen to have a very high vibration exemplar, a person whose Mayan birthday was patient reincarnation. Now, I think it's quite fascinating that just yesterday I uploaded my gender video and I talked about how tone 9 was the most feminine tone and how the 6th glyph, Kimi, reincarnation, is also very feminine in nature. And it's interesting that I did not talk about sexual orientation. But here we have a person, Freddie Mercury, who was obviously gay and who has one of the most feminine possible combinations on the Mayan calendar. So I'll leave that up to you. Now, don't you think it's fascinating that tone 9 is directly connected to the throat chakra? And this is why 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the throat. 7, 8, 9. And reincarnation, of course, is directly connected to the crown chakra. That's where the soul leaves the body. Don't you think Freddie was very connected to his throat and eventually his crown chakra? First of all, he had to overcome his darkness. He had to get out of Xibalba, the underworld. He spent a lot of time there. And I think he carried a lot of regrets. One of the most beautiful things about him was the day before he died, he told the world he was gay and he had HIV, and he left the body the next day. And I have a very strong feeling that it was happily he left the body. And this is one of the messages for Monday. You have the opportunity to leave behind that which is causing you pain. You can, with the power of forgiveness, transcend anything that is holding you back, whether you did it to other people or whether other people did things to you or both. The key is what I call the Divinity Trinity, which is unconditional forgiveness, which is unconditional love, which is unconditional trust. So what should you do on Monday? Whether or not it's precisely at 1234 in the Yucatan, at Chichen Itza, or wherever you are, when the totality happens and the lights go out, when our most beautiful Ixchel, goddess of the moon, completely blocks Kinish Ahau, I recommend to you that you pray with unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, and unconditional trust to be free of whatever it is that is holding you back. And then I suggest that you, when you see the diamond ring coming back, you say, Deo, Deo, or whatever you want to sing. Use your throat chakra connected to your open crown chakra. The last thing I need to say to you is patient reincarnation, total eclipse of the heart. If there were to be another high vibration key, code, phrase for that day, it would be Hokahe, it's a good day to die. Sure, this phrase is from the famous Lakota Sioux chief, Crazy Horse. But the Maya knew it too, and the indigenous people of the planet know it. All wise people know what it really means. It means have no regrets every night when you go to sleep. Have a clear conscience. If there is someone you need to speak to, do it today or on the eclipse. Hokahe, it's a good day to die, is every single day, my friends. You need a clear conscience. You need to be in your center. No craving something you don't have. No avoiding things you have that you've put there for you to see. Be clear, be here, be now, be in love. Een Lak'esh, Alakim, Namaste.